Alpha Mason, what up? Pat, what up? What's good, B Rob? my college roommate name was B Rob. Bear, what's good, man? Jamal, what up? Yurt, Davy, goddamn. Rush kind of sold. What's good? What's good? What's good? I ain't tripping either. I ain't tripping. I was tripping in the first half, but second half, no, I wasn't tripping because if we get first off, hit that like button. It's 30 y'all in here. I know y'all mad, but don't leave me out here stinking like that. And remember, I'm inebriated. It's like a lot of tequila in the system. So don't take nothing personal. I'll say tonight. No, I'm drunk as shit though. I ain't high, Pat. I need to be though. I want to be. I just ain't got my glasses, but my eyes ain't red though. I don't know. My eyes just always look low and like I'm crying or something. I ain't crying. Yeah, the drink probably got me. It got me out of here. Hit that like button though. It's the reason I ain't mad. Like I said, I was surrounded by the enemy all night, man. I was watching the game with some family, and they all Eagles fans. So it was brutal in the first half. But that third quarter showed me something. So wasn't that mad. If you would have told me that Cooper Rush was going to turn the ball over 4 times, meaning like 1/4 down conversion that we didn't get, um, 3 interceptions, and then also a taunting penalty that caused the extended drive by Parsons. There was a lot of other shit that's going on. One catch by Noah Brown and a non-challenge. That's what it came down to. Coaching, and then also some boneheaded plays, which still comes down to some coaching, but I won't put it all on the coaching because I think that coaching also brought us back in that game too. It was good coaching in the third quarter. In the second half period. They only scored 6 points in the second half. But if you'd have told me all that, I thought we would have got roasted by more than 9 points for sure. So moral victories don't really exist with me, but I will say, um, I'm just gonna say this: Vach kind of does something during drafts that kind of helps me out a lot. Shout out to Vach Lombardi. When I don't like our first round draft pick, which is most years I don't like him, right? He'll say, well, if you just switch the second round draft pick and the first round draft pick, and you just say you got these two guys, would you be okay with it? I was like, yeah. And it's the same thing. If you would have told me when Dak Prescott went out in the first game of the season that Cooper Rush was going to take us 4-1 before Dak returns or has a probability of returning, I would have said that's the best you can hope for. So, and then if you'd have told me that that 4-1 would result in a game that comes down to the fourth quarter against an undefeated team in the division at that, and that's the game that he loses, I would say okay. You know what I mean? I really would, and I'm really not like trying to like give us no moral victory or nothing. It's just real shit. That's how I would feel about that. So was I hype about the game? Did I want them to compete? Yes, they competed. And it came down to the fourth quarter. The Eagles, take my hat off to them. Shout out to Laura Brunson. We was talking shit over the weekend. Shout out to my fam. Everybody was watching the game. It was brutal. I will tell you that because I was in the Lions den. But we're gonna get into the fans a little bit later too, because the Cowboy fans got on my nerves. I was like really, really disappointed. But I will say, shout out to everybody. It was a good game. We were playing, and we were on the road at that, and still came down to that. I don't think they beat us second time around. But that I would have took that. Like I said, no moral victories, just real victories. That's really the truth. I don't have to change the narrative to make me feel good about that. I feel good about where we are. If we won the games we were supposed to win and then some. So 500 was okay with me, and we went 4-1 without Dak Prescott. Pretty damn good to me. Pretty good. Cooper Rush didn't have a problem, too much of a problem with him. I felt like he was rushing some of those passes in the beginning, but he was forced. They played a good defensive scheme. They forced him to throw at the two guys you don't want to throw at, which is Bradbury, which resulted in a pop up interception, and then also Darius Slay, which resulted in an interception, and then later on with Gardner, who I thought we would target. He got hit on that play, and that resulted in an interception. So, the Eagles' defensive scheme kind of dictated some of the things we were doing early on, and shout out to them. They did a pretty good job. Offensive scheme too. When they were gaming Micah Parsons in the game without blocking him, because the only thing that can stop Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons. So when you don't block him, if you look at the film, if you don't block him, he's smart enough to stand there and try to read and assess why you're not giving him three. So when you don't block him, it kind of helps you in a sense. Hold on, let me tell my dog to go home. Ghost, go home. Go home. Go home, man. You're making too much noise. I'm recording. Relax. Sit down. Thank you. Anyway, but yeah, when you look at that, I feel like Cooper Rush. I was talking about Cooper Rush, right? I think so. I was talking about the fact that Cooper Rush. Shit, I don't remember, my dog. Let me forget. But anyway, oh no, their scheme against Michael Parsons, they didn't block him at all. They were making him choose. And the only thing I have a problem with what he was doing, what we didn't tell him to do when they were doing that jet sweep all night against us with AJ and Goddard, hit that motherfucker. If you know you're not going to get there anyway, and you see that guy coming across the line, pretend he's blocking you and hitting, because then you buy enough time to, one, make Hurts hold the ball if that was his first option. Two, give your defender who may have been dragging with that guy across the line of scrimmage time to catch up if that is his option. And then three, if they're running, you blow them the fuck up and you take leverage anyway. So either way, there is no wrong answer if you hit that guy. When you don't hit that guy, you got to drift, or you gotta choose correctly, and that's giving them the option to dictate the defense and how we move. So that was my only knock with the way we covered those jet sweeps. Other than that, I think the game went kind of how we thought it would go. I didn't like some of the running plays we called in the first half. We kept doing exactly what you don't want to do against the Eagles, which is running right up the gut. And it's like the second half we kind of adjusted. But we were running right up the gut in the beginning of the game. And I'm like, why are we doing that? It's like those we were calling the right run. We were running, but we don't need to be running right up the A gap. It didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. But like I said, I think that the late second half, early third quarter. Shout out to Turpin for giving us some spark going in there. But late second half, early third quarter, we dominated, and I feel like that's the team that we needed to be the entire game, and we came out kind of flat early in the game. So, I'm upset about that. But let's assess from the top down. Let's start with offense. Obviously, this was probably Cooper Rush's worst game in his career. He chose probably the worst game to start turning the ball over. But like I said in the beginning of the game, if you'd have told me he would have turned the ball over, or the offense turns the ball over 4 times, and this is how it comes out, I would have been. And we started off 20. I would have been like, damn, man, I wouldn't have thought this would the way the game would have ended. I wish we would have done a little bit more to kind of put us in position to win this one. But as I said, Dak Prescott's coming back in a week or so, maybe 2, and I think the offense will correct itself. Moving to the run, the way we ran the ball in the first half, as I said, we were running up the gut. Didn't think that was the way to go with it, but we kept doing it anyway. We adjusted at the end, and I think Zeke showed why he's Zeke, because he came ready for this game. He was pretty tough and gritty, and did what he was supposed to do. But man, this one definitely got on my nerves, man. You Dak fans glad the Cowboys lost. Dak wouldn't don't bother. Wouldn't have won. I think that's what he's trying to say. Dak wouldn't have won. No, I think honestly, Dak probably could have won this one, because we needed a element like maybe the legs that he has to be able, at least the threat of the legs, to do other things like RPOs when they were taking everything else away from us. Um, Maybe he wins this one. It was a good game though. Like I said, I'm not mad about it. We were on the road, We were trying to do a little bit too much, I think, with the run. We were trying to be a little too creative early. I think they were trying to counter off of those runs up the gut, and we didn't get enough time to do it because we weren't getting the yardage that we're accustomed to getting, because y'all underestimated Jordan Davis, and I don't know how you do that when you watch the film. but it happened. Later on we adjusted to the running scheme that we should have had in the first place, which is, step to the center and then cut off of that. And whether it's your cutback lane or if that's front side, either way, we adjusted and it started working. So shout out to them for figuring it out. But if they'd have figured it out a quarter early, I think we win this game. Unfortunately, they went out there trying to have Cooper Rush throw from the onset, and the Eagles' strength is their secondary. So I mean, obviously the front four is great too. Front five, should I say, is great too. Linebacker core is only really one. Edwards, White is okay, but Edwards is really usually out there by itself. Um, I would say that, but if you're going to beat them, you got to run the ball off the edges to set up some play actions that would allow you some space underneath on some of those down the field plays. And we didn't do a good job establishing that early on. I don't think it would have been much of a difference because the defense didn't hold up and the offense hasn't looked great all year, to be honest. That's true. The offense hasn't looked great. It's been complimentary football from the offense, which is fine with me. Defense, I would say they held up perfectly, in my opinion. Why I say that, it sounds crazy. Because think about it, 4 turnovers plus your normal amount of drives anyway as an offense, you should score more than 7 points over our season high. Our season high was 19 points. They scored 7 points over that with 4+ possessions. Defense held up. They gave them, I think, 3 or 4 short fields, and they still only scored 26 points. Just the 4 turnovers alone could have resulted in 28 points, and then whatever they did on their natural drives anyway, that puts you in the 30s or 40s easily this game. So the turnovers is what gave them the edge, in my opinion. So I wouldn't say the defense didn't hold up. I think they just had a lot of short fields to deal with, and they did the best that they could do with that. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Hurst didn't do jack shit. He ain't do a lot, but I will give him on those third downs and a short. He is a strong motherfucker, man. He was pushing the whole pile every time he had like a quarterback sneak and all that, man. So that was something. Things to look forward to, man. Like I said, it's not the end of the road or end of the world if your backup gives you 4-1 when your quarterback breaks his thumb, and you can come back and still have a shot at making the playoffs if that happens early in the season or late, doesn't matter. That is the best scenario you can possibly think of other than going undefeated. And if you're not going to go undefeated, if you're going to lose and you're not losing to like the Lions who are 1-4, you're not losing to bad teams, you're going to lose to an undefeated team that's in your division. You don't need no more than that to really like sink your teeth into, to understand that this is more of a lesson than a loss. This is one of those losses that stings a little bit because you feel you're good enough to win, but you remember. It's like the Leon Lett loss where he I think the guy kicks the ball out of the back of the end zone in that snow game against Miami, and then later on, we go to the Super Bowl that year, so on. So it's some of those boneheaded plays that's just a wake up call for the entire team. And this one is one. It's not just a moral victory, even though I'm not into those, but it's not just one where they understand that if they play just a little bit better, that personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct on Micah Parsons was dumb because he had just made a great play. There's a couple plays that just really were like some boneheaded plays, and that was one of them. I think early on, LVE, he turned it up in the second half, played a lot better. But the first half, where he jumps out of the gap, it's only you and Sanders. You get out of the gap and then jump back in the gap. That was like another boneheaded play where he could have easily just shot that gap and made that play. It was set up for him to do so, and he didn't do it. So I was calling for him to get out of the game at that time. But when you have things like that happening and you still come out and bounce back, that shows you what this team is really made of if they stay focused for 4 quarters. I think it was an encroachment that got on my nerves too, where they were trying to get us off sides on that fourth down play, and then like a fowler, you jump off sides knowing, especially you being a veteran, knowing that they're trying to draw you off sides. Like, I said it. Like, my cousin was like, you called that. If I know you're trying to draw us off sides and that's exactly what you do, crazy, then another offsides where the guy's like literally laying next to the ball. You can see the ball. What the fuck? It was like one of those short yardage plays, but you can see the ball. You laying right next to the ball, you asshole. Like, what are you doing? So those boneheaded plays, just the little things that you got to clean up, and you still lose by 9 to what is supposedly a superior team when both teams are healthy. It's not as devastating as you might think. So I think that this is one of those lesson games if we turn it into that. And we got the leaders in the locker room to do it. I think D Law is a leader. I think Micah Parsons has the right mentality and the right mindset. Dak is definitely showing himself to be a leader. Trayvon as well. So it's a lot of leaders emerging in this locker room. J Rock, Wilson, even Hooker is a veteran that understands this game very well. So AB's been around a while as well. So it's a lot of guys in these locker rooms now where Zach Martin, they can step up and just say, hey, listen, this is not the standard. And we definitely can win games tough if we just clean up the shit. We can't shoot ourselves in the foot in these types of games. And I think this is one of those, that lesson only resounds if it stings. And this one stings. There's only two kinds of losses that sting. When you get your ass kicked, not just a skeeched out win or loss, but your ass kicked by a bum team, or when you barely lose to a good team. When you get your ass kicked by a bum team, you just, the embarrassment make you step your game up. You're like, I got to be better than that, and because we feel like we're better than that. And when you almost win and barely lose to a good team, to what you think could be a Super Bowl caliber team in the NFC, it tells you how good you are if you have any doubts. And I feel that the Cowboys locker room understands exactly what happened in this game. You had a lot of opportunities there that we just didn't bounce our way. And I'm not mad at it. I'll take it. They played a good game. Take your hat off to them. Very well coached over there. And they had a good game plan because I couldn't have figured out how they would have attacked. And they attacked different for the first time all year. They didn't try shit downfield. That's what I'm saying. We had a good game plan for Hurts. No doubt about it. Because even with the turnovers, he still didn't do very much. And they didn't really get much downfield. So we did well there. They did very well with the way they decided to attack Micah Parsons, though. I thought that was clever. The fact that they didn't block him at all, it made it so that he had to stop himself. They had him thinking because he's thinking that you're trying to get something behind him. Whereas if he'd have made either decision, he's wrong. So that was smart coaching, doing that to Micah Parsons. And we took too long to counter that. So has to go off to him. Every time they saw him on the edge, though, they did that to him. And that's why in the middle of the field, I think that was the best for him anyway, but we should have blitzed him from there. We weren't blitzing him enough when he was in the middle of the field. But they did well every time they saw him on the edges. They either ran at him or they ran some sort of motion towards him, making him think all game. He had to think all game. They made it a chess match rather than, a match that came down to athleticism. And sometimes it's going to happen. You're not going to go. No team goes 19-0, 20-0, 30-0. There's no 30-0. But you know what I'm saying. So the loss is going to come somewhere. And for the two losses to come to Tampa Bay and the Eagles so far this season, I'm not mad at that. Tampa Bay, they're struggling, but we know what they can do. The Eagles are undefeated, and we know what they can do. So for our two losses to come to them, and our wins to come to the two Super Bowl teams and a Giants team that's 5-1 too. So I think that we're still in the driver's seat for this division, for real. I still feel like we're the best team in this division, for real, because we're that close to you with a backup. So the Eagles got to watch out. NFC East, though, is definitely back. These teams all are very competitive, and when you look at the rest of the NFC, with the departure of Sean, what's his name? I don't remember. Coach. I'm bad with names, man. I'm sorry, but I'm just listening to him too. But anyway, when you look at the departure of Drew Brees from the Saints, and whatever the fuck his name is. I forget his name. But you know that the AFC South is weak, other than Tampa Bay. The NFC West is hit or miss, like we used to be, where you got some teams that can beat you, but you don't know what Seattle going to do. They like the new Washington right now, and they're in Seattle, Washington. The 49ers, are hit or miss. They're like the old Eagles, like they good, but they could beat you or they could not. It don't anything can happen when you play the 49ers. You know what I mean? Arizona kind of the same. Like they're a good team that kind of doesn't have an identity yet. So it's not. I mean, Aaron Rodgers needs a receiver. The Vikings offense is looking good, but I still don't believe in them. They're like the old Vikings. You know what I mean? There's not a team though that I can think of that just scares me in the NFC. So this was a good team to play and get an experience against. The Eagles are very well rounded. I think minus their linebacker core, they don't have a weakness on this team. And I wouldn't even say the linebacker core is a weakness. I just think that that's the only unit that you can have them a little bit, and they're not even really on the field because they play two defensive ends and three defensive tackles most plays, most drives. So their secondary is good top down. Their front five is good. The quarterback is okay. Receivers are good. Line is good. Running backs are good. So when you look at the Eagles, they are a very complete team, and I saw what we can do against them. So again, there we go. That's how I feel about it for those who give a shit. Let's read what you guys are saying. Ghost, he said, I think the win got him in delusion. I don't know who you're talking about. This game was good for all those who thought Cooper Rush was the answer. Why? This game was a bad game, but when I say Cooper Rush is the answer, I don't think. I mean, I didn't say he was the answer, but I'm just saying Cooper Rush. I don't have a big problem with Cooper Rush. Not with the way he played this game. I have a problem with some of the scheme. Sean Payton, that's what I'm talking about. I got a problem with some of the scheme that was deployed early in the game. I think we just guessed wrong. We didn't have the right mindset. But Cooper Rush not trash. I still won't take that. Um, I think he did all right though. Cowboys supposed to be 3-3 at this point, even with Dak. Well, either way, however it goes, I give you that. Cowboys looking good. Those two losses are going to come back to hurt y'all because both of them were a divisional conference game. I mean, all losses hurt, bruh. You know what I'm saying? We also got division wins, and conference wins too. So that don't really mean much, bro. You know what I mean? I ain't worried about that. It was a division loss that hurts. But outside of that, all losses hurt to me. When you talk Brunson, ask him why he think Giants are better than us. Brunson just like talking shit. That's why. I don't know what's wrong with that boy. How would you think the Giants better than us when we beat them? That don't even make sense. But that's that Philly logic for you, man. Anytime you're in a city where people blow your head off over literally nothing, it ain't too logical, man. I'm one of them. I'm a Philadelphian, but Brunson is too. So that means he got just as many screws missing as I do. So I can't listen to what Brunson be talking about, man. Got love for him, but yeah, he don't know what the fuck he talking about. Anyway, Eagles okay, but the entire NFC is the mess. Things are far from over. Facts, bro. Shout out to John S. Always keeping it real, coming at it. These boys just win. Dak don't beat top five healthy defense without extraordinary play from defense and run game. I mean, yeah, we stuck to the run, which was good. I didn't think we would do it. Even when we were down, we stuck to the run, which surprised the fuck out of me. I think we tried to get away from it, but we kept turning the ball over. So they said, "Hey, man, just run it and see what happens." Man. The pass game was not working in the first half due to Kellen Moore, and that after half we got more physical by running the ball, results in touchdown. Yeah, we should have been playing that type of game though from the rip. We were running up the middle early in the game, and I think that shot us in the foot. They never stopped us off the edges all night. Once Zeke started running off the edges, you saw what happened. They didn't have enough time to stop us, and they started getting tired and hurt because they're having to gang tackle and run around and deal with blocks consistently because we were extending drives. They did to us what we should have been doing to them, which is running the ball and extending drives, and we didn't do a good enough job doing that. Hit that like button if y'all in here. Um, the only player I really respect on Dallas is Micah Parsons. He must not be a Cowboys fan, but I respect you. You like something. Uh-huh. We can stop the RPO, but it hurt us early until we adjusted. Yeah, Eagles are definitely better than I thought they were running the ball. Um, I don't think so. I think we had opportunities to squash them. Poor tackling, not really respecting that, and I think early in the first half, poor linebacker play, because I saw several plays where LV could have shot the gap, but he's just standing in the gap and then still moving vertically or horizontally or laterally in the gap at that, like that touchdown. Sanders cut behind a pile of people where there's nowhere he can go over there. So let him cut over there if he wants to go there. And then cut back into the gap he was just standing in. And LV jumped out of the gap, then turns back around, tries to jump back in the gap, and it winds up being a touchdown on that run. But if he just shot that gap, he blows that up. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? I don't understand. But I mean, I will say, second half wise, he turned it up. He turned it up. He started getting, I think he had like 2, maybe 3 tackles for losses, had a couple pass breakups too. And he did okay in the second half. I won't hate on that. Like LV did okay in the second half. First half hurt my feelings. Penalties for 72 yards, and most of them came on in the fourth quarter when we didn't need it. Facts. I won't hate on that. I mean, that's cool. Diggs was showing good emotion. Facts. He took the helmet off. That hurt us. They didn't get AJ Brown really in the game without the motion shit. And on those jet motions, like I said, you should have just came across the line and hit the motherfucker. That's how you fuck that up. When somebody brings a wide receiver in motion and you keep having it where your corner is dragging, as a defensive end, you kind of sacrifice yourself on that play because you're not going to get a quick pass rush. But what I would tell my defensive ends to do, especially if they're contained in any way, hit the wide receiver. You throw off the timing of the entire play. Hit him every time he comes across the line, and they'll stop because it hurts. The wide receiver don't want to get hit by a defensive end 4 or 5 times a game or all game if you keep doing it. But if you'd have kept running AJ and Dallas Goedert into that jet stream doing that, I would have just told my guy, Michael Parsons, fuck it. Just hit him. And that would have changed that. They would have got rid of that or stopped that a long time ago. Later in the game, they kind of started getting the hang of it, but that's stressing your corner out trying to chase this guy back and forth around the line of scrimmage. If they want to keep bringing him across the line, just hit him across the face. That's my philosophy. I've seen that work, and I think it still works. Whatever play LV makes could be made better. That's fucked up. Won the Super Bowl that year. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm going back up. Going back up. Kellen, like, they expect to run to the outside. They'll be ready. I'm running up the middle. Like, no, bro. I run into the straight with the defense. Just not smart. Fucking right, Lucky. You are right like a motherfucker, because that's true shit, man. I know it's hard in the NFL, but it's like time and time again with our team. They have so much trouble getting over the hump against good teams. Nah, bro, you gotta take that off of them, because we only call good teams when they got good records. But somebody said, oh, I think Brunson said, the teams y'all played ain't got good offenses. Yeah, because part of their stats that's making it so they got low offenses came because we didn't let them get no fucking yards against us. That's why. So it's the same thing, man. Like, those good teams, I mean, ain't Cincinnati good if they would have beat us? Ain't the Rams good if they would have beat us? But we beat them. Ain't the Giants good? We beat them too. So we got 3 wins against good teams. The only team I say ain't good is Washington. Other than that, although on paper before the season, you would have said our record ain't crazy good, but knowing the way it shaped out so far, we got Tampa Bay, which is still a good team. They hot. You got they're still going to be a playoff team because the AFC South is weak. You still got the Giants was playing pretty good. They good. Cincinnati, I don't care if they're good this year or not. They are the former Super Bowl champs, so they have the potential to be good. Same quarterback, same coach. You got the Rams, same thing in Cincinnati. Good team. That's 4 teams. Then you got the Eagles. Okay, that's 5. Other than Washington, every team you've played is a good team. So you can't say, Matt, that we shit the bed against good teams because every team we've played is a good team. So I used to hear that narrative, and that was only because it was true based off of the evidence presented. But this year that doesn't gel because we've actually been playing good teams and playing them well. So nah, can't give you that one, bro. Can't give you that one. But I fuck with you, but I just don't agree with you. John S. Them rollouts were working. Went to them late. Yep, the rollouts to the left. They didn't expect Cooper Rush to be able to make those throws to Fredericks going back to the left, but they did pretty damn good on that too. Cleveland was good. They attacked Parsons. Never seen him play that badly. He ain't played bad. They just knew what to do against him, which is make him think, make him stand still. If you're playing a player whose raw athleticism and reflexes is on that level where you have to like adjust, he dictates to how you move. How do you stop that? The only thing that can stop Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons. So how do you do that? You do that by making him think. Just make him try to figure it out. Run options at him all day long and make him figure it out. And he had trouble with it in the first half. I think in the second half he just said fuck it and started making decisions rather than waiting to see what was going to happen. But it was too little, too late with that. But I mean, hats go off to them. They had a good plan for that. But still, I still would say, me personally would say it didn't work. He still should have. I mean, on that sack that Fowler got, or I think Fowler got it, he would have had it if Fowler didn't get it. He still would have had a sack this game. And I think he still affected this game if it wasn't for that taunting call. I think that drive, they would have been, I think, 3rd and long in that drive. We could have got them off the field before they scored that last touchdown. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly. I will remember when I look at the film. So anything I say about the timing of certain plays, I am on a lot of tequila right now. So don't hold it against me. Other than that, I think I'm pretty right. Anyway, drop y'all likes. Hit me with any questions. What's up, man? What y'all want to talk about before I and I ain't jumping off. I'm just talking crazy. Somebody called me delusional. Is that me? Am I delusional? Or are you talking about the trolls? Let me read up what you said. He thanked me for saying Eagles are little. I don't know what that means. We could give 2 shits about the AFC. True. This was the hardest part of the 4-1 schedule. True. I'm not mad. There is no more QB controversy. That's true. If there was a QB controversy, Dak just won that motherfucker. I will say that. I'll say that my damn self. John, they are in the AFC. Stop reaching. Oh, yeah, talking about that bull. Okay, take your W and get the fuck out of here. Not validation, just want you to admit it. Oh man, that's the only team that near elite in the entire league. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. How the next game gonna go? Who we got next? The Chicago Bears or the Lions? I think the Bears and the Lions go the same way. We Cowboys just shoot them bitches. I know. Anyway, the Bears are mostly a running team. The Lions, same thing. I think both those teams are winnable, and it's good because Dak is coming back against 2, I think, weaker teams in the conference that are more one dimensional. So I think with the Bears, stop the run, force them to pass, and the same thing goes for the Lions. Stop the run, which they don't stop doing at all. They got that Parcells blood in them with Dan Campbell. But you force them to pass because golf still, after all these years, is only reading 2/4 of the field. So he only reads half the field. And that's why they run the cell concept, because the cell concept allows all routes to converge in his face, which is why they left him alone and went to Matt Stafford. So I think golf only reading half the field is going to be a problem, because if that half of the field happens to be the side that Trayvon Diggs is on, I think Trayvon's going to have a way with golf, personally speaking. Didn't have a problem with the way the corners played this game, safeties either, because it wasn't a real passing game for the Eagles. I think the secondary showed that they are real because they didn't get as much pressure as we're used to getting, and they still held up. They didn't allow anything deep. It was just a lot of stuff underneath. So, what mattered? None of that. I think we beat both these teams and go into the bye, let Dak heal up, and come up with a second half of the season game plan and take over this division. That's what's going to happen. Let's see. Not saying Fields is any good. We need to sit Brown and play Bland. Why would we sit Brown like Brown was getting chewed up? Y'all that come out with that type of shit be crazy to me. If you're gonna sit somebody though for Bland, it would be Lewis. But Lewis has been playing and communicating great as well. So no, I'm behind y'all a little bit, but fair point, Akoye. I feel you. That is a good point. Thanks, bro. Eagles avoided Trayvon all game. They sure did. At this point, just ignore them. They talk about 6'9" Omega. Breezy, we went everywhere we wanted. AJ Brown is legit. What did he do that killed us? I don't think AJ Brown was like. I mean, he is legit. Don't let me say he's not. But he didn't kill us though. AJ Brown, I wasn't worried about it. It wasn't like, damn man, we can't stop AJ Brown or Devontae Smith. None of that was the answer. That's not nothing all game. Not even your running backs. We could stop everything you were doing. It's just, we didn't do it consistently enough. Hit that like button. Keep those turnovers in check, and we win the game easy. Facts. We are 15-2 this year till I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what you mean. Oh, 15-2 this year. I mean, until somebody else beat us. It's been fun, but I've seen enough of Cooper Rush. Yeah, I would say Cooper Rush is looking like he now has enough on film where teams are catching up to what his initial tendencies are. But here's the thing: Cooper Rush was playing fine until we took Noah Brown out of the number 2 spot or number 1 spot, whichever spot you want to say that is. I think the return of Michael Gallup is more impactful to Cooper Rush's game than people like to say it is, because you see what he wanted to do. Once we started losing, Kellen Moore put Noah Brown right back in there, and they start saying, hey, man, just throw at your guy. And he and Noah Brown have much better chemistry than him and anybody else on this team. So I think that affected Cooper Rush. And unfortunately, he's a scout guy. So him being a scout guy, the 3rd or 4th, maybe 6th receiver on the team is someone he's developed chemistry with. And when you become that number 1 guy, none of those scout guys are going to jump up there with you. Noah Brown, fortunately, did early in the season, but that was only due to the fact that Michael Gallup was hurt. So when Michael Gallup came back, I think that slowed him up a little bit. And you saw that because as soon as we went down, they said, "Hey, Mike, you move over," because he was throwing interceptions trying to hit Michael Gallup. I don't think he throws those same interceptions trying to hit Noah Brown. Him and Noah Brown have very good chemistry. That's just me personally, man. Y'all don't gotta agree with me, but let's see. Here we go. Parsons or somebody needs to teach AB how to tackle. You crazy, Cleveland Brown. If there's something AB know how to do, is tackle. Y'all hating on that. Like some people missed tackles today. We didn't get it wasn't an offensive show. Listen, four turnovers can result in 28 points right there. 12 to 28 points, right? If you just turn it and cut that in half, let's just say you got 6 points, and so you got 20 points. So at least 20 points, 17 to 20 points is what 4 turnovers should turn into, plus whatever possessions they get on their own. And you still only give up 26 points. I can't say it, bro. I feel like, nah. I feel like he's wrong on that one, bro. Okay. Man, y'all have to understand. Y'all going there. But yeah, they ain't fuck us up offensively, man. AJ Brown caught a 5-yard pass and went 15 yards. Woo! We have to get a memo to Moore to use Turpin in the offense. Dude is phenomenal in space. Now that, Adam, is correct. Tank spikes. QBs aren't being paid too much now, especially since the refs are protecting them for routine hits. NFL and team organizations need to restructure quarterbacks' pay. Other players are getting underpaid. I mean, join the players union, bro, because I don't know how you're going to change that. We actually outgained the Eagles in yards, but we gave them a lot of short fields. That's true. We took it. At Akoye, do you think Peters isn't starting over McGovern? Also, do you think it's too late to put Peters back in at left tackle position and Tyler at left guard? No, I don't think it's too late to do that. I think you might want to try it, but I don't know what the game plan or why they did what they did this game. I think Peters came back and they wanted to just give him some mixing work because he still is injured. And that's what they did with him. So I don't know. I think Peters will get into midseason form probably in the next 3-4 weeks, hopefully. Remember, he did not have a preseason or offseason. He had no OTAs. He had have no offseason whatsoever and no preseason whatsoever. And he just came out and just started playing. So for him to get not only the aches and pains out, but also his body condition to be able to take the punishment, it's going to take a couple weeks if he doesn't get injured, getting to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like a boxer. If you took a boxer who, if I'm walking off the street right now, I can fight, right? If I'm fighting a regular person. But if you say, hey, go fight somebody who can box, who's going to hit you, I got to be conditioned to take a punch. And that doesn't happen overnight. You might knock me out today. But if you give me 3 weeks to get my body ready, I might be able to absorb that punishment. So that's the same thing with Peters. Peters, if he doesn't get hurt or knocked out while getting to the point where he's able to absorb the punishment, Peters will be back. Yeah, Peters will be back. You don't win this game with Dak. I mean, I won't say that. I won't say that. I think Dak is gonna. He would have created a different game. I think Dak could have won this one. Peters is done. That's the main reason why we didn't re-sign him. He's done, so take him off the grill. I don't think he's done at guard. I think he might be done at tackle, but not at guard. I think Peters can still play. We didn't play him till week 3, I think, versus the Giants. Facts. He didn't have a preseason though. Considering the Cowboys didn't have their best offensive player on the field, they did excellent. I mean, if Rush hadn't thrown those interceptions, they probably breeze ahead. Agreed. Sean Davis, who is y'all backup QB? Do we even know his name, or do you even know? Kelvin Joseph had 2 tackles on Turpin. Kept getting in the way, plus holding penalties. Facts. O-line held up. We'll get them again in the division in December. Yeah, we were on the road too. That's the other thing. This was a good game for us to be on the road with a backup. I'm not mad. Well, our schedule looks relatively easy. The next decent defense we face is Minnesota. Outside of that, I mean, Chris, the Eagles aren't better than us. They just lucked out and played a super subpar backup instead of our Pro Bowl QB. Y'all gonna keep shit. Listen, I will. I don't. I'm not one of these guys that try to argue that Cooper Rush is shitting on Dak or any of that. But I hate when I hear y'all shitting on Cooper Rush because y'all would have never allowed nobody to shit on Dak when he was like the reason we were winning without Tony Romo. And the reason we still have a fucking playoff opportunity is because of Cooper Rush. So I won't shit on that at all. It's teams losing with Joe Burrows and Tom Brady's and fucking Matt Stafford's on their team, and they're losing right now. You know what I mean? Jameis Winston's and shit like that. That's supposed to all be better than Cooper Rush, but we got a better record than all those teams because of fucking Cooper Rush. So stop shitting on the bull name. Like, that's the only reason we even y'all wouldn't even be on it. I got 97 people on here, 76 likes. Thank y'all for that. But y'all wouldn't even be the fuck on this stream right now unless y'all just wanted to come and trauma bond with me if it wasn't for the fact that Cooper Rush kept this season alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just to now that 2 teams caught up to him and 2 good teams at that. With the Rams, he didn't have to do anything against because we were up early with a good defense. Why would he be fucking dicing the fucking team up? He threw for 100 yards on 16 attempts. Now, this isn't a knock on Dak, like saying Dak isn't better than him, but Dak, first game of the season, threw 30 times for 14 completions and 130 yards. He had 30 more yards on 15 more attempts. So I'm not saying like Dak isn't better than Cooper Rush, but I'm saying if you could say, hey, Dak is going to be better than he's not what his outing was against Tampa Bay, and Cooper Rush is not what his outing was against the Rams or even this game. Because the only reason we are in this to win it this season is because of Cooper Rush. So I will not shit on that, and to keep shitting on that is crazy. He's not a guy that can. He could start in this league. You know, he can start in this league. So when y'all throw, he's a backup. I throw backup in there like it's like a derogatory term. It's like when white people say boy. You know, they ain't gonna call you a nigger, but we gonna call you something close, boy. You know what I'm saying? It's the same shit. It's like y'all. It's a backhanded compliment. Stop it. Stop it. I'm not. I don't like that shit. You know what I mean? I don't like that shit. Please, you better hope Hurts don't get hurt. Facts. Um, they said Gardner Minshew. All anyway, back to this game. The Lions have had an extra week to prepare for us. Should we be worried? Oh man, come on. Should we be worried? Your name is Eric, so that means you're a man. Drop your sack, Eric. No disrespect to you, but that would be like, you know, if it was it's a noise outside. Should we be worried? You better grab your fucking gun and just get ready for whatever's coming. That's the way I look at it, man. The Lions is that. Like, get ready for whatever the fuck is coming. The Lions is good offensively, bad defensively, run the ball, and Dak should be coming back, and we should be able to put some numbers up on them. If we don't win, or if the Lions do give us trouble, then we should be worried. But I'm not worried about the fucking Lions. I mean, Dak looked terrible coming off an injury last year, and I'm worried it might be more of the same with him next week. I think Dak is going to come back under pressure, and we're going to find out in the second half of this season how Dak responds to pressure. He's coming back from an injury. He's coming back playing against a record of a backup who went 4-1 in Cooper Rush, and he's playing against a team who's not supposed to beat him. So that is enough pressure for Dak to come back and show us what type of poise he has, and I think he does. Both against the Lions and the Chicago Bears, then he gets a bye to heal up some more and also correct some things that we might find in these next 2 weeks. That's what you can expect. And to be honest with you, we may split the next 2 weeks. Who knows? Because he is coming back and he hasn't gotten any preseason. He's not in midseason form, and he got hurt the first week of the game, first week of the season. So I would Cooper Rush got preseason snaps and was in the OTA. So Cooper Rush was ready when Dak went down. Dak was being spared because of preseason. So he's not in midseason form. So don't expect him to be the first game back throwing the ball. He hasn't even been throwing in these last couple weeks. So he's really going to be rusty probably. Now, if we can help him out, run the ball, play sound defense, we can win both these games. If we ask him to air it out and we lose one of them, that's to be expected. I won't snap if that happens because I expect us to lose something. And I would rather do it before the bye where we got time to correct it than after the bye. So if we're going to take another L this season with Dak, I think it should happen now rather than later because we need him ramping up, getting into midseason form, and that's not going to happen overnight. So he's going to have to take some hits. Not only that, but some hits on that hand, and that's going to take time for us to get in the rhythm. But I could be 100% wrong. He might come out firing on all cylinders, and that's the best case scenario. And if we do, I expect to blow both those teams the fuck out the water, bro. That just is what it is. But me being a realist, my initial response is what I think will actually happen. Could it go other ways? I hope so, but I doubt it. Anyway, let's see. That taunting call was pussy shit. They didn't throw the flag until the Titans started bitching. That's facts. Michael Parsons made a hell of a play. He just talked. He didn't do a lot. They had a whole group celebration in the end zone. They didn't say shit, and that was taunting if you ask me. But that's cool. We think we're going to continue running the ball when Dak comes back. I hope so because this is why I think for the first time it'll happen. This is the first time in Dak's career where it makes sense to do it. Like beforehand, he was running the ball because he didn't have chemistry with Dez and those guys. After he got Amari Cooper, he started throwing the ball because he wanted to get a contract and also because it was working. So why would you stop doing that? It seems like you're successful when you're throwing. But now he's got to sit on the sideline and see that a quarterback was winning games without having to press or be the guy because of how well the run was helping, and looking at the way he was looking in the media because he was just winning games. And I think Dak just wants to win. And if he just wants to win, he sees that running the ball is probably the best way to do that. So I hope that he doesn't audible out of any of these plays and they actually continue to run the ball the way we have, because that's the reason we were winning. And I think doing that same exact thing with Dak under center, with the option to roll out and bootleg, naked boots, things like that. The same thing the Eagles were doing to us. If we're able to mix that in, we're better big play than the Eagles are. And we're able to mix in the short shit that they're able to do because of the run. We will be very tough to beat with Dak out there with his legs, because Dak and Cooper Rush have been able to hit shit downfield better, I believe. Maybe not when people look at the stats and like, the Eagles might have more 50-yard plays. I'm just saying the Eagles couldn't do that against us. I feel like we could have got the ball more consistently underneath the way they were. They're a dink and dunk team, then they'll take their shots. If we're able to consistently do things underneath with these receivers, I think we'll do well. And I hope that comes back and continues to run the ball because of that. Because I think that would make us tough to beat. 6 games is a big part of the season. Yeah, we went 4-2 in 6 games, bro. Like, did you think we were going to be undefeated at 6 games in? I didn't. So, I mean, I would have took 4-2 with Dak right now. I would have took 4-2 with Dak, the same exact stats as fucking Cooper Rush. I would have still took it with Dak, and I wouldn't have been mad at Dak either. So I'm not mad, bro. I'm really not mad. I just was about to say that audible. For sure, man. We definitely need to have success in the run game. Hurst didn't throw at Diggs or Brown all night. Nope. Don't make you elite. I think if Dak is healthy, we're going to see the best of him, because he's a better passer than ever, and and we can lean on the run and know it's going to work and set up the play action. I don't have my glasses, so excuse me for reading slow shit, but I can take that, Davey. What's up, bro? Sean Davis, John, if you sit there with a clear mind, how many teams are better than the Eagles? I'll wait. Well, it's going to sound crazy. I think the Cowboys with a healthy starting quarterback are better than the Eagles. I think KC is better than the Eagles. I think Buffalo is better than the Eagles. That's it. Nah, clown. Here calling the Eagles elite after 6 games. I don't know, bro. Let him talk. I believe the injury to Dak helped his football IQ. I would agree. Yeah, him helping out on the sidelines, he sees how easy this game can be if he just doesn't get in the way. Like Dak, his biggest problem has been he presses when he's under pressure. And I don't mean by the blitz, I mean by the media. When it's a big game, he thinks that he has to be the guy to like shut these people up. And he just needs to wait for his opportunities to shut people up. Because if he just did, just putt all night, you'll go for just putt. Eventually, you're gonna get a hole in one over time. Later on, when you start feeling it, you get that hole in one, and you'll be able to drive. But be a good putter for a little while, man. Bunt. Sometimes a bunt is a good play. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Dang, he said Dak will break his leg again. Just wait. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro? I'm a silence you, Cannon. You is tripping. You ain't. Oh, you must be an Eagles fan, so you must be an Eagles fan. That's what it is. I'm gonna put you in timeout, homie. You tripping. Anyway, once again, Cowboys fans never admit when teams are better than them. I do. I think that KC is better than us. I think that the Buffalo Bills are better than us. I say the Eagles are not better than us, not because I'm a hater. They won, but if you would have said that we were playing Gardner Minshew, I would say we are supposed to blow them out. If you would have said we was going to give them 4 turnovers and we were playing with Cooper Rush, I would say they're supposed to blow us out. They didn't blow us out. We were in this game. And that's why I say that. They were up 20-0. We came back. It was 17-0 going into the fourth quarter. We had every bit of ability to win this game. And if you are better than us, I don't think you, I mean, I think you would blow us out. And I don't think you do that if we had Dak Prescott and we would have had a game plan early on anyway. We'd adjusted early where we, actually attacked you the correct way. They didn't do what I said, which is run off the edges. They were running up the middle. When they started running off the edges in the third quarter, it worked. So I feel like if we'd have started with that approach, sweeps and things like that on that. Y'all saw that play with Steele. Like that's why I said run off the fucking edge. You saw what Steele did to Maddox. He took Maddox and threw him in the next week, and then dove on him. I'm like, man, if we'd have been doing that all night, we would have been able to throw the ball too, because they would have been dinged up on the outside. We didn't challenge their quarter to make them fucking tackle all night, and that's what they don't like to do. They're not physical guys. Bradbury or Slay or Maddox. Well, Maddox can hit, but he's not physical. He's little. So we could have ran through them all day, man. Eagles did their best and only won by 9. At home at that. They home, bro. And they like, man, these dudes is trash. No, Cowboys, that was a moral victory in my opinion. Like, if there is one, we did pretty good. I don't like moral victories though. The NFC is wide open. It's about matchups. Teams with traditional offenses, Cowboys can take advantage of. But teams like the Eagles, 49ers, and the Cardinals that have RPO misdirection gives us issues. You're right, B702. That's historically given us issues for the last 5-6 years. Wait, did you say that only 9? That's a lot in the NFL. Where you been? Man, Sean, are you a Cowboy fan? If you're not a Cowboy fan, you don't got to stop. You can say whatever you want. But if you're a Cowboy fan, you're a very strange man. Dax the Monk. Eagles were nowhere to be seen last year when we put up 40 on them. Now they act like they did something beating Rush. Facts. Adam Gudry still was destroying the Eagles D-line. Yes, he was. He fucked up Cox. He was throwing guys all over the place. They're going to see us in Dallas. Okay, losing by 9 isn't a lot when you have 3 turnovers. We had 4 turnovers. We had 1 fourth down that we didn't convert, remember? So we had 4 turnovers. Just keep that in mind. Pancakes. Win or lose, I'm going to be here. If AKOYE is live. Facts, Davey. What's up, Brody? Laugh out loud. I laugh my ass off at moral victories. Okay, Sean, you're right. All right. So let me get this straight, Sean. You're a Cowboy fan, right? But we supposed to say what now? Because you're right. Okay, so moral victories ain't shit. The Eagles are better. We not good, right? So that's what we supposed to sit here saying for 30 minutes. Is that I would never go nowhere with you, bro. Like I wouldn't go outside with you. I wouldn't go to the mall with you. I wouldn't play street ball with you. I wouldn't do nothing with you because you weak, bro. That's weak shit. Because if I was about to go do something and the first thing out my man's mouth, I don't care if we about to go fuck with a grizzly bear with 2 9mm. I mean, if I'm about to go do something dangerous and my man's first thing out of his mouth, oh, you an Eagles fan? Oh, let the nigga talk. That's what I say. If you an Eagles fan, you supposed to say that. Let him talk. Let him have it. Shout out to you, brother. My bad. No bad. No. If you an Eagles fan, talk your shit. I thought you was a Cowboy fan saying that. I was about to say you weak as shit if you a Cowboy fan. You sound like a bussy. You know what I mean? I don't know what's up with you. But you an Eagles fan, I give you that, man. But admit the Eagles are better. I won't admit the Eagles are better though. Cause y'all not better playing. Y'all played our backup, bro. If we played y'all backup, you wouldn't even be over here. I ain't trying to hear that shit. But you being an Eagles fan, you got that, Sean. I ain't mad at you, bro. You supposed to say that. Yeah, man. Yeah, let him have that. Let him have it. Shout out go to you, man. You know what I'm saying? We'll see you in Dallas and we'll fucking put these size 12s up. Yes, man. Pause. It is what it is. He just thinks his team is better and elite. Let them be elite. 6-0 is elite. I would say I think we elite. We 4-2. We elite. They're elite. Cause you know why? Because even if you don't think they're better than us, now you might argue. I'm not gonna give you that, Sean. You might argue that your team is better. That's cool. I might argue that my team is better. We're gonna be at a stalemate there. But what I say you're elite is because in this season is because it's only 4 or 5 teams that's up there. We're one of them. We were winning with a backup. We're one of them. Y'all one of them in the NFC. And then you got KC, Buffalo, and then there's teams that have veteran quarterbacks that can do some damage, like Green Bay. the Vikings and Tampa Bay. They can come do some things. You know what I'm saying? Same thing goes with well-coached teams like the Patriots that might do something late. So you got those teams aren't elite, but they're good. But the 6 teams, the four to five teams that I named initially, they're elite. So wherever you say the Eagles rank in your power rankings, I will say they're an elite team. I won't take that away from you. I don't think they're better than us, is what I said. But I won't take elite away from you if you want elite. 6-0. 6-0 ain't elite though. Stop saying the record make you elite. It's not. It's the way you play. It's not your 6-0. Remember the Vikings with Randy Moss and Chris Carter went 6-0 with Randall Cunningham. And they were supposed to be elite, right? You know what I'm saying? They was elite during the regular season. They lost in the playoffs. But yeah, 6-0 ain't what I'm saying is elite. I'm saying y'all elite because of the way y'all played us. And I know we elite. And I didn't know what y'all were coming into this week. I said, I think we could beat y'all. And I still think we could beat y'all. But the way y'all played us was like different than any team played us. I'm talking about the way you went after Michael Parsons and the way you actually handled Cooper Rush as well. So y'all proved that y'all did what you're supposed to do against a team that's playing with his backup and that's playing against a guy on defense that is a force player. Shout out to Foots, that's his word, a force player that actually changes the way other players play on defense. So did a good job, man. I'll give you that. He Eagles fan. Leave Sean alone. My bad, Sean. I was coming at you crazy, focused on you, but I thought you was a Cowboy fan. You being an Eagles fan, welcome. You know what I mean? Talk your shit. Do your thing. All right. You aren't elite. We'll see who is there at the end. John Ness going to keep going at you, but I ain't. Go ahead. If the Eagles are elite, should have blown out tonight's game against the backup QB with 4 turnovers. Oh man, there go our Tinder hot sex finder. That's I don't got no moderators. Y'all motherfuckers slow. I'm a high user from channel. Oh no, somebody got him. Who got him? Oh no, I got him. Oh, Alpha Mason got him. Appreciate you, brother. Anyone who says Colts are better than the Eagles is delusional. That's true. Giants might be elite. No, Giants is like the Giants of old with Coughlin. They hang in there and then they'll beat you in the end if you let them hang in there. You got the Giants is like, that motherfucking fire that you gotta like piss on, pour water on it, blow on it, pause, step on it, throw some sand on it, because that fire, they flame just don't go out. They always trying to hang in there. You know what I'm saying? They won't go to fuck home. Cowboys should be 0-4. We playing with house money. Facts. I think we need another good receiver, honestly. I think Gallup will get back to mid-season form soon. I think James Washington will be back soon. And I honestly think Gallup shouldn't be starter yet over Noah Brown, because since Gallup came back, the pass game has been bad the last 2 weeks, and that's the new. I look at what did you add? We added Gallup to the pass game, and when we added Gallup to the pass game, the pass game became anemic. So I think that Gallup should be starting behind Noah Brown right now. Y'all won't like that, but I don't think Noah Brown is better than Gallup career-wise. But right now, I think he's better than Gallup because Gallup isn't right. You know what I mean? When he's back to 100%, of course you should start over Noah Brown, or when Dak comes back, because Dak has better chemistry with Gallup. But while Cooper Rush is the quarterback, Noah Brown should be his go-to receiver, period. After watching that one in the back of the end zone, even though they didn't complete it, it just showed. I said it to everybody, all these Eagles fans. I said, oh, they got Noah Brown ISO at the top of the screen, so they're going to Noah Brown. Boom. They went to Gallup after that, but Noah Brown had a real chance. Anything can happen in the NFL. Lions got shut out by the Pats and put up 35 points on the Eagles. True. Bro said Birdman. I'm still trying to figure out how Noah Brown got faster, shiftier. I swear he had brick feet last year. He probably didn't. You just don't get to see him actually go out and do nothing. You know what I mean? He'll never have to. So I don't think Noah Brown was slow. He's just not the fastest guy. He a Des Bryant type guy, 4.5 to 4.6 type of guy. That's what he is. I think that's what Noah Brown is. I think he was a 4.7 coming out, but now after he lost about 10 pounds, yep, there you go. He lost weight, Ghost. After he lost about 10, 15 pounds, he became a 4'6" guy. Not going to run by you by any stretch of the imagination, but fast enough to get open. We don't know what the passing game looks like. We don't. Should they trade for a wide receiver? No, Andrew. Stop it. Turpin needs to have more plays on offense. What we need to do on offense is develop an identity that dictates to what we do well, not try to dictate to who we pay well. I feel like the guys who get paid get to play over the guys who don't, and I feel like we also don't go with what we know works. If I look at Turpin and I say Turpin is a fucking firecracker with the ball in his hands, he's going to touch the ball at least 5 times a game and hope that he makes a big play. He made a good kickoff return. That's a touch. So those kickoff returns and punts count for touches. But he should get at least three times on the offense where we go after him. And I don't mean deep. I mean just like jet sweep him and hand him the ball. Keep a defense honest. And then throw him in the offense and jet sweep him again. You don't have to hand him the ball ever again. But once you do it one time, you make it so that the defense believes that that is an actuality or a possibility, and you make them respect it. So I do agree that Turpin should be incorporated into this offense because even if you don't like, it's like even if you don't get stats, it's like Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin didn't light up the board with stats, but he made it so that when he was out there, you damn sure can't put just anybody on him, and you can't play with him. You can't put a linebacker on him and try to disrespect him. You can't put a safety on him. You have to respect him with a wide receiver, and you can't play with him because if he does get the ball, he is dangerous. Even if he's not a guy that can do the full route tree yet. So I do agree that Turpin should be in there, and we should establish an identity that just says you're going to have to beat us doing what we do best, which is running the ball, creating creative play action options with that run game. I think that would be ideal. If we come back and just go straight to shotgun, I will lose faith in this offense once again. Not that they won't score points doing that, but we don't help our defense out at all being a pass first, score heavy team that doesn't give this defense a rest. This defense gets banged up that way, and we don't go deep in the playoffs. And you can't keep good offenses down when we do play them if you play that way. I know y'all remember Peyton Manning used to come off the bench. He drank his Gatorade. When you score fast on, he drank his Gatorade and toss that shit. He come, score again. So don't do that. I saw a linebacker on Lamb and he couldn't get open. Oh man, I won't even get into that. I won't get into that right now, just because I haven't looked at the film and I've been tipsy. So anything I say schematically or on technique wise could change when I actually look at the film because then I get to understand what was actually happening on certain plays. Just like when we thought that Trayvon gave up 2 bombs last week and we realized he didn't have no safety help. So we'll find out what was going on. But as far as right now is concerned, the things that I can say we could have changed the game, I've addressed. Outside of that, I think I kind of know how I feel about how this game went. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign out because I got a long day tomorrow, and then I gotta go ahead and get this film started. So, he said Lamb is overrated on the low. I don't think it's on the low. I think Lamb is developing into the number 2 receiver that he's gonna be, and the reason I say that is because, um, he came out of the gates. We said he's a number 1, but he had other guys who were taking attention from him. And we saw Dez when Dez came out, right? He was a punt returner. He was a number 2 guy, but you could tell like, he was going to start taking snaps away from Miles Austin. You could just tell. Lamb is like you're just waiting for somebody to come take snaps away from him or to come hide him. When Noah Brown came up and started, drawing attention, it was good for Lamb. And I think it'll be good for Lamb when a guy like Michael Gallup or James Washington and Noah Brown take attention away from him again because he'll be able to work. And that's not disrespectful to Lamb. I think he's more of a Julian Edelman type guy. Not a number 2. He's a guy you can build an offense around, but he's more like Julian Edelman and who was the guy from Cleveland, LSU product from Cleveland. Um, Not super fast, but can catch and can do things. He got a big contract in Cleveland. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But that guy, he's like one of those type of guys, or yeah, Landry. He's like that type of guy. Good. I wouldn't call him a Randall Cobb. I mean, he's a guy, you give him the ball, he gonna do damage, he gonna fuck you up, but he still got some ways to go. I don't know if he's reached his ceiling, but I think he's a 1A type of guy. You have to you have to structure an offense around him and give him the plays that he likes in order to make him work. And I think a offensive coordinator who wanted to use him correctly, oh, they could use him. Lamb would be a number one statistically because they would just get him into positions that he likes. Like he likes a lot of drag type of stuff. Give him drag routes, dig routes, short slants, move him around, hide him in the offense, and just throw. You got to throw the ball at him all day. You hit Lamb with 10, 15 targets a game, short, like a Debo Samuels type offense. Lamb is that good. So if you think Debo Samuels is a number one, then Lamb is a number one. But is he a guy that can just line up in one spot? You know where you're going to be. He's going to beat you every time. No. But let's face it, AJ Brown is supposed to be that guy. And AJ Brown, they do the same thing with him with the Eagles. They move him around. Jefferson with the Vikings, he's that type of guy. He's supposed to be a number one. They move him around all over the place and try to find new ways to get him the ball. So it's no different with Lamb. You know, get him the ball and move him around and see what he can do with the ball in his hands when you get him in position to do what he does best. We use him deep and on the outsides a little bit too much. I think Lamb is supposed to be shallow and on the inside. That's just me. That's how I would use him. Drag routes, a lot of rubs. Like you would be getting rubbed all day. There will be a lot of intersecting routes going on with Lamb all day long. A lot of arrow routes, a lot of mismatches from moving them around late, matching them up on linebackers, telling them to kind of tear those guys up. I would do that with him. The X receiver is dead. Debo is way better than Lamb, so stop it. Um, I would say right now, yeah, they have an offense that's using Debo Samuels the way he's supposed to be used. Lamb is a guy that can play with the best of them, in my opinion, with the ball in his hand. It's just getting the ball in his hand. We haven't figured that out consistently yet. Uh, has Barr been disappointing so far? Barr has been an elder veteran linebacker who plays with some intensity so far. I would say that's what he's been. He's been exactly what I thought he would be. Did I think he would be a world beater? No. But has he made plays? Yeah. That's what he's doing. Um, so no, I wouldn't say disappointing, but I would say that I'm ready to see Cox get some snaps, though. I am ready for that. Between Barr and LVE, you need a bit Cox on the field. I think he won't get on the field though, honestly, until Chicago game, maybe right before the bye week, and then after the bye, they might start trying to mix him and Clark in there. Yeah, exactly, John S. He's been hit or miss every other game Barr shows up. I actually think your boxing analysis is better than your football analysis. Eric Stewart. Oh, you're gonna hold me being tipsy against me, brother. I ain't been wrong all year, but as soon as I'm wrong, look at you, man. They just come for your neck. But I appreciate it. At least you respect me in the boxing game. I ain't mad at that. But yeah, man. Give me some grace. I'm full of tequila. Love you though. Joker World, Koye, where the DT's bad or was it linebacker play? Don't ask me about X's and O's because I could say that I could say it, but you couldn't hold it against me because once I look at the film, I know exactly why we didn't do whatever. Since you said Brown is a Dez Bryant type a receiver, I see that now. Good comparison. Noah Brown, I'm talking about speed wise. Dez Bryant is not a he's a 4.5 guy. And he's a guy that likes to, play physical, dig routes, anything that requires him to catch the ball and deal with, some bodies. That's what Brown likes, and that's why Brown doesn't do well in this offense because Dez wouldn't either. But if Brown was playing with a Aaron Rodgers type or a guy who can throw him open or who's not scared to throw the ball at him even when he looks covered or who gets the ball in his hands when he can run, Noah Brown would be a pretty good wide receiver in this league, number two at least. Noah Brown's proven he's a number two at least if you gave him the ball. Fowler, Barr, Dono, and Brown. I don't know why I say Brown had a bad game. The Eagles didn't kill us in the air. Why I keep saying Brown had a bad game? They had Micah out there with his head on a swivel. Facts. Still would like a bigger presence from at a one tech. Bohanna is still a little banged up. That's why you ain't get the presence you're looking for. And while Bohanna is active, Watson isn't active. So there's Bohanna and Neville Gallimore. I think Neville Gallimore has kind of disappeared the last couple of weeks. If y'all want to talk about it, but why I don't know. Maybe the opposition's better, or maybe he's a little banged up too. But we need both those guys at full strength in order to play well in the middle of the field. And when they're not at full strength, we don't bring Watson in if they're both active. So that's what happened. Anthony Brown missed a tackle and got scored on. Um, okay, but that's one time this season. Like he's not missing tackles on a regular basis. Anthony Brown's been a solid tackler. He hits tight ends, knocks the shit out of them. I'm not coming at him over a missed tackle, bro. Not one. Um, there's guys I will come at for missed tackles, but he not one of them because he's usually a solid tackler. That's just true. That's like I wouldn't give Michael Parsons missed a couple tackles. He missed a couple plays, but we know usually he's a playmaker, so you don't come at him over that. You know what I'm saying? We're not saying it was his greatest game either, but I wouldn't come at Anthony Brown over this game. Not this one. He had 155 yards, and it was a turnover that killed us. Exactly, Tank. Would you be opposed to trading for a DT or a linebacker to address maybe our two weakest positions on defense? No, not at all. Defensive tackle, we don't really need one. Like I said, I think that we just need to get healthy there. And yeah, I wouldn't do it. Who would you go after? Who's available that you would go after? That makes sense. That not only would have to come in here in the middle of the season like there's an injury or something, which there's not, but also have to learn this defense in the middle of the season and risk disrupting the chemistry that this defense already shows it has. That won't happen. Doesn't make any sense. Linebacker, same situation. I would rather have LVE there than a new linebacker, no matter how good he is, because he has to come in and learn his defense, and he wouldn't do that for maybe 3-4 weeks. And you would have to do it right now, 2 weeks before the bye, so that you at least have to bye to catch him up, and that would take too long. So, nope, won't happen. Neither one of those things will happen. Neither one of those things will happen. Also, do you think Cox and or Clark would be better at linebacker? Yes, I do think that though. I think Clark, if he's healed, should play some on special teams. I think Cox, if he's healed, is ready to take some snaps away from LV and Barr. I think LV and Barr should still play, but it should be opposite Cox. I think Cox should be mixed into that rotation soon. And knowing the way Dan Quinn is, I think it'll happen the week before the bye. They'll start mixing them in because I think these next 2 weeks they think we can win these games. So I think Chicago they'll mix them in. Or I don't know who we play right before the bye, but we'll mix them in just like we did last year. We start bringing him in. He knocked out Daniel Jones, and then I think he hurt himself that same game. I think he tore his ACL. But they were mixing them in last year too. I think they do the same thing this year. I think LV just need to trust his eyes and hit the motherfucker. That dude should be way better than he is. I'm tired of you're right, but I'm tired of saying that. That's like saying, man, why? That's like when you take that boy with you to fight, you know y'all gotta fight, and you like, why you ain't say nothing when he said so much about? Why you ain't just punch bull? And I was about to ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? I was about to, man. If he just said one more thing, I was about to punch him in his mouth. I was about to. That's LVE. I was about to, you know what I mean? But he could just do it, and he got it. Because I feel like LV has the athleticism. His IQ is getting there because he gets to the spot now, but he just watches. He's a watcher, and he got to be a doer. Even if he was wrong, I would take him just being a forced play. Get back in there. Go home. I ain't actually come out. That's my dog, by the way. You know, I'm not talking to a person. But it's like AKOYE was talking to his girlfriend. His girlfriend came out the room. He said, "Get back in there." I ain't that bad. But no, I feel like if LV was just a wild man, even if he missed a couple plays, he would be forcing guys to make decisions sooner, which will help this defense out. He waits a little bit too much, in my opinion. Yes, Tyler Durden. Tyler Durden. I like that name. We did. That's one of my favorite movies, man. Fight Club. We did need this loss though. We did. Matter of fact, Tyler Durden. I think I might do a Fight Club skit to this. Man, we beat ourselves. Tank Spikes. Who gets roasted the hardest by the media? Chiefs, Bucks, Packs, 49ers, or Cowboys? That's easy. Cowboys. Oh, he said, "Boy, you must be from Philly." Eric Stewart said, "It's one more player that I actually like on the Dallas, like the Bull Hooker." Yeah, I like Hooker. I like Hooker too. Bull, young Bull. Adam Guthrie, we were desperate going for on that fourth down and 14 in the second quarter on our own 35. Yes, that fucked us a little bit. And if you were going to do that, run the ball. But we didn't even have to go for it on fourth down because we got the first down. So that's even more important, which was dumb. But we can snap over that later. When you dropping more boxing vids, um, I mean, you do watch all my Jones on the other channels. You saying? Yeah, I would drop them. They actually give me a lot of strikes when I do it on this channel. That's why I avoid doing it on this channel. But trust me, I love boxing more than football. I would love to turn this into a mainly boxing channel, and then during the football season do this because I would get more followers. Like boxing, it's very easy to get followers, but it's also very easy to get strikes because I had a video that like 200,000 views when Tyson Fury with the glove scandal. I did very well, but they struck me the fuck up maybe a month later after the videos were already out, maybe 3 weeks. They killed me, so I try to stay away from it, honestly. But I would love to get back to it, and I will soon. Last night, my man, shout out to Steve Edwards. That's my man's. Caleb Plant, his fighter, knocked out Darrell. We were in his camp twice, Steve Edwards camps with J Rock. So shout out to him. I know he happy. And Philly boxing is back, man. Malik Scott, he's a guy that's from Philly too, and he was Deontay Wilder's trainer. So Philly boxing, whether it be boxers or trainers, is showing up. Like the knowledge level in this pool of fighters and trainers in this city is just second to zero. I think you got to go to Cuba or Russia to find, or Mexico to find more boxing knowledge, man, in one place. And even those are countries. This is a fucking city. So that show you how compact. It's mailmen that can jump off a fucking mail truck and whoop some ass. I'm talking about on the championship level. And I'm not exaggerating. It just sounds funny. But people in Philly know that's true. It's dudes that just most of the guys' main sparring partners here in Philly be dudes that look like they ain't even supposed to be boxing. They're coming in and give you fucking 30 minutes of hell, though. You know what I'm saying? So Philly's different. Philly different. I can't wait to get back to boxing, man. Okoye, should Micah play more linebacker tonight because the Eagles' running game was killing us? He did play more linebacker tonight, more than usual. Yeah, I fuck with the UFC. I don't know people's names, not unless they champs, but I fuck with it. Killer Moore run setups are trash. I don't know why they strike you. I thought you can talk about whatever you want and upload a video when upload. No, they strike me because I do breakdowns. So it's not just talking like this. When I do boxing videos, the ones you watch on other channels are me talking like this because I get interviewed. Shout out to YSM Sports. But the ones you watch are like this. But I do breakdowns where I actually take the fighter's footage and I'll cut it up. And when I do that, when you do that, they can strike you. They don't always have to, but they can do it. They have the right to do it because those are new, fresh fights. If I was just breaking down like old fights, classics, it probably wouldn't bother me because those fighters are either dead or nobody gives a shit. But they already made all the money they're gonna make off those fights, so they don't care. But the fresh fights, like a fresh pay-per-view, like if I broke down Caleb Plant right now, um, PBC would probably strike me. And I don't mean strike me like take the revenue from my video. I mean strike me like try to get me taken off of YouTube for copyright infringement. They really do that. I didn't find that out until the Tyson Fury. They really went after me. So I don't really play all the time with the boxing shit, man. How's the guy Greg Hackett and Ennis? Oh man, Greg Hackett, my man. That's my man. And Ennis there. I fuck with Ennis Pop heavy. Greg Hackett is a funny dude. And one thing I can say about Greg Hackett, He a trainer. Most trainers can't do what they. I respect the like if you guys would do the same way, same thing I do. Like if you went into an MMA gym or karate dojo or a kung fu, whatever the fuck you call it, and the instructor couldn't do kung fu or jujitsu, you would leave. In boxing gyms is the opposite. Most dudes who train boxers can't fucking fight. But Greg Hackett, Bozy, Steve Edwards, oh, they can fight. They'll beat your ass. See what I'm saying? So they treat boxing like a martial art, and that's rare. And Greg is one of them. Like he'd go outside, he'll hand you a fair one. I've seen him do it. Like he'll fight anybody in the ring, outside the ring. So that's rare. I respect that. They only gave you a strike because you dropped the knowledge, probably. I'm coming down to the gym on Paul Street. Paul Street gone. They left. I don't know if you remember that, but like a month ago, Boots and them, they ain't at Paul Street no more, bro. I still go there sometimes, but they ain't there. They went to TKO and they went on Grand Ave because they got into something with Rob Acosta. They strength and conditioning coach who own Paul Street. They done with them. I believe you keep the clips to under 30 seconds and they can't get you. Shit, you seen my videos, bro. They be like 30 minutes. Ain't no, I can't do that. Can't possibly keep it under 30 seconds. That's almost impossible to do. Who gets roasted? You said already. LV, you worried about his collarbone. LV worried about that collarbone. He said, but in this game, you see him launch himself ahead first into the pile during hurt sneak? Yeah, I did see him do that. He did a good job with that. Next 5 weeks in the FC North. That's cool. Facts. Brown is on the block too. Then they trying to chop Brown head off. Oh, Derek Brown. He's talking about. All right. Okay. Well, listen, people. Let me see. Where they at training fighters now? They have TKO, Cherry Hill. TKO gym. Go there every Saturday. You can get as much work as you want. You go in there with some headgear. They might give you. They might let you spar boots and get your teeth knocked in, man. Don't do it though. Please don't, because they will. I believe you keep the. I ain't trying to say that just about you. I'm talking about anybody going there. That's what they do to you. They treat you like dog meat, man. I'm going there. It's been real, Davey. Peace, man. I believe you keep the clips to under 30 seconds. They can't get you. I think they already said that. All right, man. Look, it's over. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta go, man. I got shit to do in the morning, man. Why y'all ain't tell me, man? Let the tequila get me. Where do you think Commanders is headed once their defense is back to full healthy? They headed to the garbage disposal, brother. What do you think I'm gonna say? To the Super Bowl. Now watch y'all come back to this clip and be like, Okoye one time was drunk and said Washington was going to win the Super Bowl and the motherfuckers won it. Yep. Peace. I'm out of here, man. Love y'all. Peace.